The Ghost King and the Science Team. Written by M. Tooth Emerald Tooth. Summary. Phone calls at 2 a.m. were never a good sign for Gordon Freeman, especially when the person calling is a panicked Tommy Colata. Apparently the two elderly members of the science team are trying to summon an undead king with a book they found at Tommy's place for shits and giggles. So of course Gordon has to go stop them from causing an apocalypse. At ass o'clock in the morning. Once was enough, thank you very much. Too bad their local eldritch cosmic entity didn't get the memo that he was trying to stop it from happening. God damn it, Benry! Prior knowledge of Danny Phantom isn't really needed to read this, lol. And if you don't know what Half-Life VR but the AI is self-aware is, you should still read this anyway, 'cause it's wild. And also you should watch Half-Life VR but the AI is self-aware. I will probably put a link to that in the description, to the web series. Chapter 1. Dangerous grandpas try to summon Satan or something. It started with a phone call, as things often do. It was 2 in the morning and Gordon was sound asleep before the ringtone ruined it all. Melody whistling gently roused him from sleep. Then the sudden horribly loud and obnoxious sing-yelling of that stupid goddamn cowboy from the stupid goddamn meme video startled Gordon fully awake with a frailing of limbs. God damn it, Benry! Gordon shouted because he knew his eldritch roommate was awake. He never slept. And fumbled with his phone to turn off the horrific music. Stop changing my fucking ringtone! Gordon could hear snickering coming from the next room over as he squinted at the bright phone screen. After silencing it, Tommy Coleta's name flashed across the screen, accompanied by a nice photo of him and sun-kissed. Gordon quickly answered the call, knowing that Tommy only called this late if it were important. The older scientist was talking before Gordon could even say hello. Mr. Freeman! Tommy shouted, sounding breathless. Gordon was immediately on alert. Tommy, what's wrong? He asked gravely. Tommy shuddered incoherently for a moment, during which Gordon could faintly hear Dr. Comer and Bubby's muffled voices in the background, before he found his words. It's the other two. They stole a book from my dad's library, and now they are trying to contact the underworld. You gotta come help me. Stop them. Life as we know it could come to an end. Gordon let out an impressive string of swears and leaped out of bed, nearly braining himself on his nightstand, doing the ensuing bout of dizziness. Of fucking course, Comer and Bubby were trying to summon fucking demons. What even was his life? Good thing it was his turn to have Joshua. No sitter would be up at this hour, so it didn't take Gordon long to be out the door and climbing into his van. He didn't even flinch when he noticed Benry explicitly sitting in the passenger seat. He just started the engine with a snarky, "Yeah, sure, you can come along, I guess," and peeled out of his driveway. Tommy lived with his dad and sun-kissed, in a house just barely too small to be considered a mansion. It was outside of the town limits, far enough away from citizens that Benry liked to visit and do cosmic god bullshit in the backyard. Unfortunately for Gordon, that meant that it was almost an hour drive to get there. The whole time he drove, he bounced his leg and chewed on his lip, dreading what he would find at Tommy's house, with the fucking danger grandpa's trying to open a gate to hell. God, what if it was like the Resonance Cascade all over again? He couldn't handle another fucking apocalypse. Bro, calm down, please? Benry said from the passenger seat. Gordon startled and glanced over at the alien. You try being calm when you don't know what the fuck kind of bullshit we are walking into. Benry slowly blinked at him. I am calm? I'm in the same free Candyman going to some bullshit as you, idiot. Gordon groaned and gripped the steering wheel tighter. Stop calling it that! And you don't count. You're like an invulnerable, all-powerful asshole. You don't have to worry about your fake, squishy human body like I do. Do you need some cool blue voice, bro? Of course he just brushed over everything else, Gordon said. You keep your balls away from me, man! And Benry shrugged and turned away to look out the window. Gordon spent the next few minutes going through his breathing exercises because Benry was right that he needed to calm down. Anxiety was a bitch. Finally, the Coletta household came into view. It was in one piece and not on fire, much to Gordon's relief. He still screeched into a stop and scrambled out of the van as quickly as he could. He didn't bother knocking and entered the house without checking to see if Benry was following. Tommy! Gordon shouted, hastily kicking off his shoes. Jim was a real bitch about shoes in his house. I'm here, Mr. Freeman. Gordon reared into the living room, nearly slipping on the hardwood floor. The sight he was met with was much more tame than he'd feared. Tommy was holding back an energetic Dr. Coomer through sheer force of will, and the other man's unwillingness to hurt the younger scientist with his immense strength. Bobby, on the other hand, was lying face down on the floor, with Sunkist pinning him there. The giant golden retriever panted happily from her perch across his back, tail wagging a mile a minute. On the floor near them was what Gordon assumed to be a summoning circle. He expected it to be painted with blood, but the intricate lines were a neon green color instead of red. The candles set at even intervals around the large ring were all lit, and Gordon wondered, with dread, how close the two old men had gotten to completing the ritual. At least there were no demons inside, so Gordon hoped that it wasn't complete. Allowing himself a small sigh of relief before standing up straight and tall, Gordon loudly cleared his throat. Immediately everyone froze and turned their eyes to him. There was a beat of silence. Then, Tommy, you bitch! You snitched on us! To Gordon? Bobby cried indignantly. Hello, Gordon. Tommy let go of Dr. Coomer and threw his hands up. What did you expect me to do? Just let you summon the king of the underworld? Yes! Gordon pinched the bridge of his nose and took a deep breath, steadying breath, willing himself to not start screaming and pulling his hair out as Bobby and Timmy began to argue. You were trying to fucking literally summon Satan, he shouted, trying and failing to keep his cool. Why in the ever-loving fuck would you want to do that? Oh, not that, underworld, Gordon. Do try to keep up, Coomer chirped, completely unhelpful. That threw Gordon for a loop. There's more than one underworld? Gordon shook his head and scowled. You know what? It doesn't matter. We are not, I repeat, not going to be contacting any underworld for any reason, okay? But Gordon, the thrill of battle calls me, Dr. Coomer crowed, lunging for the arcane circle as he did. Tommy was quick to grab the old man and put him in a headlock, much to Coomer's delight. Suplex him, Harold! Bobby shouted from beneath Sunkiss. Gordon stepped between where Tommy was attempting to wrestle Coomer into submission and the circle. Guys, God, we are not doing this shit. Bobby, do not encourage him. There will be no fighting kings today. Go fight Benry again if you want to. Get your shit wrecked. Aw, but Gordon, Security Chef Bobbers is our friend. It would be rude to initiate a fight with him. Dr. Coomer scolded Gordon, waggling his finger with one robotic hand and violently shoving Tommy into the wall with the other. Yeah, Gordon, that's no fun. Benry would go easy on us. Gordon held back a scream reaching up to grab fistfuls of his long hair in frustration. God, he loved his fucked up little family. Really, he did. But they would be the death of him one day. Bobby will accidentally set him on fire, or maybe Benry'd give him a heart attack, or Kuma would snap his spine with one of his famous extendo hugs. And Tommy, bless his heart, had zero trigger disciplines. Either way, Gordon was going to take at least one of them down with him. Before he could work himself up to a full-blown coronary, Gordon began doing breathing exercises. His therapist warned him about his stress levels. A stressed-out Gordon was an asshole. Once he was sure that he wouldn't blow up, he fixed the Dreamman with an even glare. Okay, listen. For the last time, we are not summoning any otherworldly beings today. G-Man and Benry are plenty. Thank you very much, Gordon said firmly, staring down Bobby and then Kuma, until they both nodded. He decidedly ignored Bobby's muttered insults and rude gestures. Okay, Gordon let out a breath and consciously forced his muscles to relax. Let's help clean up this mess and we can go home. Let's go! Clipping down through the ceiling like a fucked up angel sent straight from Bethesda, the final member of the science team made his presence known by hounding and crashing to the floor right in the middle of the ruined circle. Benry recovered quickly and glitched to their feet, triumphantly, holding what appeared to be a gallon Ziploc baggie full of a dark liquid over their head. He was covered in dirt, and his ever-present chulo was missing. It was anyone's guess where he'd been for the past 10 minutes. Gordon desperately fought back the urge to crawl up on the floor in a fetal position, and instead tried to reaching over the summoning circle. He was not going to step on it. To grab at his piece of shit roommate, Benry crackled and stepped back out of Gordon's reach. Benry, don't you dare! The anomalous ex-security guard merely grinned at Gordon, stuck out his grossly long tongue, and threw the mystery Ziploc baggie like a water balloon into the center of the circle. It burst open and splattered a foul-smelling liquid all across the expanse and up Benry's front. Silence reigned. The moment everything settled, everyone held their breath and stared at the circle, including Benry, who seemed just as excited as Bobby and Kuma to see the ritual through to its end. Much to Gordon and Timmy's relief, the intricate runes remained static and unchanged. Aw, this sucks. Wasn't something cool supposed to happen? Benry whined after a few breaths of silence. I went and got pig's blood and everything. Gordon was doing a very convincing expression of a boiling tea kettle, steaming in awe. Why? Why me? Why this? Where the fuck did you get pig blood at 3 in the goddamn morning? Gordon shrieked, trying very hard not to look down at his pants, onto which he was sure some of said blood had splashed. Benry smacked their lips obnoxiously. Wouldn't you like to know, science boy? A gamer never reveals his secrets. Gordon had to continue his breathing exercises in order to not lunge into the circle and throttle the insufferable alien god. It's magician, Benry. A magician never reveals his secrets. That's dumb. What? No, it's not. You're the one who thought tossing a bag of pig blood into an arcane ritual circle would do something. Gordon snapped back. Look at this mess. You making messes, clumsy boy? The mess you made, you asshole! The fucking Gordon froze, staring down at the hardwood floor. Of fucking course, the massive splatter of pig gore was gone. The floor was as clean as it had been when Gordon arrived. The painted circle was untouched. Dude, stop doing weird reality warping shit when I'm trying to get a point across. Gordon sighed, feeling more tired than angry at this point. He should really be used to shit like this by now. It had been 1.5 years since the resonance cascade, and Benry'd been living with him for over half of that. This might as well be a typical Friday night when it came to the bullshit this group of human-adjusted people got up to. Didn't mean Gordon had to like it, but before he could have another go at scolding Benry, Gordon was interrupted by Tommy making a very loud "aha" noise. Hoping for some good news, the tired human turned to look at Tommy, who was miraculously sitting atop a very defeated Dr. Coomer, with an ancient-looking book in his hands. Gordon wished he could have seen their fight, considering Dr. Harald, the alien Coomer, was an underground boxing champion with several bionic enhancements, and Tommy, although half alien, was a bit of a string bean. Tommy turned the ancient book around so Gordon could see it. On the yellow pages was a diagram of the summoning circle, surrounded by text, written in a language he didn't understand. It was a wonder how Coomer and Bobby managed to read the thing to even start the ritual. "See? Look here, Mr. Freeman," Tommy said, pointing to somewhere on the page. "It says that the Ghost King can't be summoned with a blood sacrifice. It's gotta be a living sacrifice. It wouldn't have worked anyway." "Ah, fuck," Bobby piped up. "Maybe we can go catch a pigeon or something." No, we will be not murdering any innocent animals to summon otherworldly beings today," Gordon scolded. "Pussy," Bobby spat. Gordon huffed up, ready to begin another shouting match with the pyromaniac, but was interrupted. "It's all right. Your boy Benry got this." Gordon's heart skipped a beat, and he spun around to face the alien, dread crawling up his spine. "Benry, what did I just say?" Benry looked confused. "What?" No innocent birds were harmed in the making of this film. Just a little harmless kill command. No biggie. Gordon realized blatantly what the alien was planning, and was too late to stop him from reaching up and snapping his own goddamn neck. Immediately, the alien body dropped like a sack of potatoes, lifelessly sprawled in the center of the circle. "Oh my God," Bobby added unhelpfully. "I didn't think he was going to do that." Gordon knew that Benry wasn't actually dead, and would be back in no time. Because the bastard was immortal, and could spot another body from his formless cosmic god bullshit to parade around in. But that didn't stop the instinctual jolt of horror at the sight of the lifeless corpse. Despite how insufferable he was, Benry was Gordon's friend, and he deeply cared about him. Monkey brain says friend on the floor, not plus not breathing, equals dead for real. He didn't really have time to freak out though, because the circle was starting to fucking glow. Oh God, oh God, oh God! Gordon stumbled back away from the circle, nearly tripping over his own feet in his haste. He drove behind the couch and peeked up over it to keep the portal in his sight. Because that's what it was now, a portal, swirling green and eerily similar to the ones they used on Exum. Gordon quickly shook that thought away before he could have a panic attack. It wasn't quite the same. This one was bigger, round, and more goopy. "Tommy!" Gordon shouted. "What the hell are we expecting to come out of here?" The book doesn't really go into specific detail. Just that this should call the king of the dead into the plane of the living. They are particularly a god in their home realm, so I'm sure this will be the fight of our lives," Tommy said gravely. That seemed to excite the two oldest, by human standards, members of the science team. Fuck yes! This is going to be bitchin'! Bobby growled, wiggling out from under Sunkiss to get into a fighting stance, flame linking along his fists and hair. Right you are, Professor Bobby! Kuma joined in, appearing next to his husband. Doctor! Objected Bobby. Professor! Doctor! Will you two shut up? Gordon snarled. We have an unknown entity headed our way, and we don't have our heavy hitters right now because he fucking offered his mortal form like a goddamn idiot. I'm hurt, Gordon. Surely I'm the heavy hitter of the team, Kuma whined. I'm not, Bobby butted in. Obviously I am. You're a pyro, Bobby dearest, Gordon screamed and tugged at his hair. Oh my god, shut up! Stop with the Team Fortress references! This is serious! Surprisingly, the two old men listened, but that could be attested to the fact that the candles around the circle flared up. Flames a bright neon green that cast eerie shadows against the walls. As the four watched with anticipation, their breath suddenly became visible. Gordon watched a cloud of vapor leave his mouth before suddenly everything went dark. The human closed his eyes and curled into a ball behind the couch, regretting his every life choice that led up to this moment. All sound seemed to be sucked from the room. An oppressive energy swept through the air, and even Sunkissed seemed to be holding her breath. The light returned to the room. With it came a presence. Then an echoey voice. Oh my god, is that a fucking dead body?